What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to give you guys a very quick update about Tesla and the markets. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. Anyways, if you look at Tesla, we pushed up to about 348, came back down to 343, and we're just pretty much just trading sideways. There's not really a whole lot going on with the markets right now. We're just trading sideways. Even after our data came out at 10 a.m., the market just made a small move and it's not really doing much, unfortunately. So I want to give you guys a warning about the chop we're experiencing. If you're holding options, be careful because this could really hurt premiums if we don't get a big move. When you look at Tesla and zoom out, we're bullish in terms of this trend. There is potential to break past 350, then eventually make these new highs for 358, then eventually 367. Those are going to be the targets if we break 350. But as of right now, Tesla has not been able to do that, and we're just kind of flat right now. I did mention to you all that Tesla's going to likely see some consolidation, maybe even come down. And that's what's happening so far. We're just kind of stuck. We need to break 350 to be bullish, but if we lose 338, we could be looking for a move down. We're just in the middle right now, trading in the mid 340s, and I just expect this to continue as Tesla's very choppy. So for now, we're in chop city until we break one direction or not. We're just chopping around. So that's why I want to warn you to be very careful with Tesla. For SPY, it's the same thing, very choppy for now, although we do have an inverse head and shoulders like pattern developing. We're choppy for the time being, and there's no sign of any kind of like break yet. We need to get back above 644 on SPY to break out higher. But if we end up losing 642, we could be dipping to 640. There's an inverse head and shoulders, so there's potential to go higher unless we break resistance. But for now, despite that pattern forming, we're just very choppy. So be careful with SPY if you're holding anything. That's my warning for everyone. Be careful. Same thing with the QQQ. Be careful. We're also choppy for the most part. If we end up losing 570, we could be dipping to 568 with this inverse head and shoulders. But if we're bullish, you want to see us break past 572.5 to go higher. We do have an inverse head and shoulders, but when you zoom in for now, we're just kind of like, chopping around. There's not really a whole lot going on. So we remain choppy for now. That's the most likely possibility. The IWM is also pretty choppy, not really doing a whole lot. Unless we break past 235 to break out higher, or if we end up losing 233, we're just chopping. There is some upside potential though. This could eventually break out for 235 plus. But for now, we are choppy. Same thing with ES, very choppy. There's an inverse head and shoulders developing. If we get above 64.65, I think this resistance right here could help us launch for 64.80 plus. If we lose 64.40, though, we could be dipping lower. We're just choppy, so I do expect this to continue to chop around, not really doing a whole lot. NQ also has an inverse head and shoulders. If we break past 23,500 and 50, we're looking for a push for 23,600. But if we lose 23,400, we're looking for a dip back down. So I think this inverse head and shoulders does have potential. But when you zoom in, we're just choppy. So there's not really a whole lot going on. Bitcoin's also range bound between 109,000 and 111,000. So I expect this to just go back and forth. Might bounce for 110,000, but we're just kind of stuck. Just like Tesla, we're stuck in choppy unless we lose support. Also, keep in mind there's support at 342. If that fails us, we could dip to 340. But like I said before, for the most part, it's not really much that's going on. Nvidia was on a nice uptrend. It does have the potential to retest 182. If we lose 180, though, we could retest 178. So we're just range bound, but there is upside potential. Aapl has some potential. It dipped only to bounce. We need to lose 225 to be bearish, but as long as we're above 226, we're favoring 228. So it's just chopping, but there is some upside potential. AMD is making lower highs right here. We were supposed to hold above 169 to remain bullish. If not, this is going to be at risk of dipping back down to like 165 flats. If that doesn't hold, I think 162 is coming next. Coinbase is holding up well. As long as we're above 304, we're going to be favoring essentially 307. But if we lose 303, we're looking for a dip back down. So we're just in the middle chopping around. Amazon looks a bit more bullish. As long as we don't end up losing 227, we're going to be favoring 229 or above. Meta is very choppy, but it's favoring 754 as our potential upside target. Google's favoring 208 to 210 as our targets. So this is once again holding up well. Nice double bottom here. So we're favoring 208 plus. Microsoft is also holding up decently. It's very choppy. It could retest 502 flat before it tries to bounce, but I think we might see a small bounce for like 504. The VIX is also very choppy. It's dipping just a bit, but there's just not really a whole lot going on. SPY is choppy for the most part, but there is an inverse head and shoulders that could lead to upside. And Tesla's also, it's just stuck around this 345 area, so there's not really a whole lot going on. With that being said, guys, I want to thank you all so much for listening. I just wanted to give you guys a warning about this. If you're trading Tesla or any other ticker, be careful. The market does have some upside potential, so does Tesla, at least for the short term. For the more medium term, though, we look a lot more bullish, so we'll just have to see how that goes. I'd like to see Tesla reclaim like 350 to break out a lot higher. Otherwise, we're just choppy, and we'll see what this ends up doing. Thank you for listening, and peace out.